Hey guys, how are you on this Tuesday? Can y'all believe it's December 2017 already? Like, this year is almost over with. I'm sorry for my voice, but I'm really excited to talk about this topic today. Just to introduce myself, my name is Belize Spivey. I am an STD life coach. I help African American women between the ages of 21 to 45 years old overcome the stigma of herpes. As y'all always know, and I always tell you, doesn't really matter what race, doesn't really matter what age bracket. That is just an area that I chose, and the women that was reaching out to me. So I chose that target market. But if you need any help, you're 13, 15, 30, 59, black, white, Chinese, it doesn't really matter to me. If you need any assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can reach out to me at my email if you just have a basic question at overcomingthestigma@gmail.com. If you want to do a session with me, no problem. I'm going to put that information below. I do have a holiday sale for you guys, so you'll buy one get one free, so you'll have an hour with me and then you'll get another hour free, and that has been very successful where you can talk to me for so long. I say the first session is great because you tell me your story, in the second session then I can assist you as much as possible. So with that being said, guys, as you can see on the title, my partner accepts me but no sex. This is very vital because at the end of the day, we meet people, we disclose to them, they accept the fact that you have it, they say, okay, I'm with the risk, but then when it comes to having sex, they don't want to have none, or they're doing everything with limitations, or they're saying, we're good, we can do this, but I don't want to do that. I want to go more into this because this has happened to a lot of women lately, and I want you to understand you have the ability to stay and to deal, or you have the ability to leave. Because my whole thing is, I want you guys to understand that you still have the power to choose to deal with what you want to deal with. Just because you have this doesn't mean you have to accept the other person's limitations. And my whole thing is, you have to understand, yes, they have the right to want to set boundaries, but if you don't want to live into a boundary lifestyle, if you don't want to feel like you have to do something different because you have this, which is the reason why a lot of us get so scared and don't want to disclose to be in relationships, because we feel like we're going to be treated differently, and my sex life is not going to be the same. If you don't want to deal with any limitations, then you don't have to. You have to move forward. So with that being said, guys, let's get into this. So my whole thing is, just say you meet a great guy, you meet a great girl, and everything is going fine. You decided, hey, things are great. I want to disclose to this person. You go through the disclosing process. You're telling them your story. You're telling them how you got it. They say, you know what? Never dealt with it before. We're going to stand from that standpoint. I never dealt with it before. I don't know much about it at all. And this typically happens with people who never heard of herpes. This is not really with people who knew of herpes or they came across it. Those people are typically more accepting. They're more free with it. They're not really tripping. They know, make sure you take your medicine. Make sure we use protection. Let me know when you're having an outbreak, things like that. And sometimes they even give you more information on it because they are aware of it. They came in contact with it and they'll help somebody through it, or they have a friend or family member who's been through it. They gave them some information. But we're going to speak from a standpoint of somebody who do not know anything about herpes. And that is going to be majority of the people that you come across who don't know anything about herpes, never been tested for herpes, and simply just not educated, okay, at all. And those people are the ones you're going to come to learn that will say they accept you, but they really don't in so many different ways. And that's absolutely fine, but you want to get to a point where you find somebody who completely accepts you, and you don't have to live in a box. And I don't want you to live in a box, and you don't have to live in a box, and it may cause you to have to move forward and walk away from certain situations. But my whole thing is, you still have the ability to choose. I want you guys to realize you have the ability to want to stay. It's fine if you want to stay, but if it's making you feel like crap and you're feeling down about what you're doing, don't do it. That's just my motto. See you later. You too. So, with that being said, guys, with the questions, I'm going to answer all the questions at the end. So I just want to get the whole thing out, and then I'll answer all your questions. So if you have any questions, go right ahead, post everything below. If you want to say, girl, yeah, you right, or if you want to ask anything, go right ahead, and I will get to it at the end. But so, like I was saying, guys, you have the right to choose, and I want you to know that herpes don't force you to have to accept things. You do not have to accept it just because this person is at a point they still don't accept it. Acceptance is completely like, I understand what you're going through. Let's educate ourselves about it. I do my research, you do your research. We learn about this thing, and we're gonna do what we need to do. That's using protection. That's you using your antivirals to deal with your shedding, and we're just gonna have a regular sex life. That's including oral sex, and that's including kissing and whatever else y'all into. That's between y'all and y'all. But at the end of the day, we're gonna have a regular sex life, and I know the risks that I'm walking into. And then you have your people of, and these are the people that we need to be very, very cautious about, because they can hurt us in the end. It's people who say, yeah, I accept you, and things like that. They get into the relationship, everything's good, and then they come to your house and he don't have no condoms, and y'all have came to an agreement that y'all gonna use condoms. So he's slick telling you, I don't really want to have sex because I'm scared, so I'm not gonna bring the item that we agreed upon. Or he may say, oh, not today, I don't know, I'm still a little worried about that whole thing. And for a fact that y'all have had long conversations about it. Y'all have educated, you have gone over beyond, like, drained yourself educating him about it. And he's still at the point where he's kind of like, eh. Or you have those guys who are like, oh, we can do everything but oral sex, or we can do everything but kissing. I have came in contact with people like that. So if you have type 1, they're like, well, I don't want it on my mouth, so we can't kiss each other, but he's going to have sex with you. So my whole thing is, it's taking away your intimacy in all areas, because you can't do the things you were doing before. And my whole thing is, like I said before, that is what we fear the most, of being treated differently. And when you run into people who don't know much about it and scared out their mind, which they have the right to be scared, but saying they accept you, but they truly don't, cause you more pain. So my whole thing is, it's some warning signs that you have to pay attention to. I'm going to tell you a couple of flags that you have to pay attention to. Those people who are like, oh yeah, I'm in. I want to do this. I'm good with it. And he don't ask no questions. That is a person that you need to be very concerned about, because if you ask him what it is and he say he don't know, then he only saying that because he just really not listen to what you're saying. You really need to have a serious conversation when you this close to this person. That person say they accept you. Y'all need to have a couple of serious conversations about this. This is not something they say, I accept you, and y'all move forward. No, y'all have to have a serious conversation for them to educate themselves, for them to understand it, for them to ask you questions, for y'all to seek out counsel, which I do couple sessions as well, that y'all seek out counsel so he can ask questions without you on the phone, because sometimes they don't want to say certain things to you because they don't want to quote unquote hurt your feelings, but they have concerns. So my whole thing is, that's something you need to focus on before even the sex comes into play, making sure this person is absolutely fine with it. And then sometimes you'll have your people who say, I'm good with it, and then he start acting funny, where he's not touching you like he used to. And this is for situations where, you found out, and this person is with situations where you were in a relationship before with this person for a long period of time, and then you find out you have it, okay? And he found out he don't have it. All right. So this is the situation for this person. This person, oh yeah, we good. We gonna work through this. Everything's gonna be fine. And then he started thinking about it, and he was like, oh my God, like, I can get it from my girlfriend, I can get it from my boyfriend, and I don't know if I want to deal with that, because if I break up with them, then I gotta deal with this. I don't know what I want to deal with this. And they stop doing things. They're not kissing you as much as they're doing. They're not, performing oral sex. They're not being all over you like they used to. They're not doing certain things, and it's starting to make you feel like, you know what, I don't think they really accept it. And you're right, they don't really accept it. My whole thing, never second guess yourself when you don't think a person accepts it. You know for a fact when a person accepts you, and you know for a fact when a person don't accept you. So my whole thing is, listen to your intuition. If you feel like that person don't accept a certain part, it's nothing wrong to ask, hey, I think you're still struggling with this. And my whole thing is, don't sit there and let it dwell for months and years, and then when that person decide, hey, you know what, I can't deal with this more, or I think, you're great, but I don't think I can deal. Now you having a meltdown because you felt in the pit of your stomach, and you did not listen to the pit of your stomach to know this person had a problem. And you could have simply dealt with it. Opened your mouth, said something to them, brought it to attention, got them, answered their questions. I have talked to people over the phone with people they're dating, and that person just was scared of some things, and that person ended up deciding that he didn't want to accept it, but he did not want to tell her, and I told her to walk. Okay, so we're going to talk about that person who do all the stuff. He get all the information. He's still having sex with you. Now you got your people who have sex with you, but still who don't want to fully commit. And I'm talking to women who are in getting to know a guy, and y'all decided y'all want to have sex. Y'all talked about relationships, but he was like, I don't know, I'm still getting a feel, but he's putting off the commitment. He talks about the commitment. He's acting like y'all in a relationship. Y'all going on dates, y'all spend the night, y'all doing all these things, but he still is putting off giving the title to what y'all are. Those are people you got to be concerned about too, because he's not accepting of it either. He's want all the benefits, but he don't want to deal with the fact of, I have to accept all of her. That means I'm affected by default. Me just standing on the outside and getting benefits, cool. Yes, it's risky, but it's more risky when I'm in a relationship with her. What if somebody find out? What if I get it and I leave her? All of these things. So my whole thing is, you got to completely understand. You got your three people. You got your person who, kind of forgot what I said. You got your person in the beginning who don't know anything about it, really, really scared. I can't do this, or I can do this, and then and not listening to you, and then later on realize, okay, I don't want to do this. You can't do this to me. You can't do that to me. I'm scared about that. Don't touch me here. I think you'll do this. And you got your person like that. You got your other person that you're in a relationship with already, and now they're starting to treat you differently. And then you have your person who you're dating at this given moment, and y'all moving towards a relationship. He's getting all the benefits, but he don't want to commit to you. So my whole thing is, what do you do with these three people? The first thing you do with all three people is to communicate. Communication is key. Sometimes all you need to do is talk. All you need to do is bring it to their attention that what you're doing is making me feel some type of way. I feel like you don't accept me. I feel like you still have questions. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to look up the information? Because I will completely tell you right now, a lot of them do not listen to what you're saying because you are the person with it. Sometimes they feel like, she's just saying that because it's her and all that stuff like that, and she wants to be with me or he wants to be with me. So my whole thing is, they take what you say with a grain of salt. It's better sometimes when they look for the information themselves, which you would strongly say, look up the information yourself. Don't depend on me. Search it out for yourself. And you also give them reliable sources, but just let them search it. Yeah, we understand we hate Google, but at the end of the day, if they don't want to come to you and say, hey, I seen this, it's kind of scared me, and y'all can sift through and you can give them information, or send them to my page, or send them to so many other amazing women page, or send them to some resources to tell them, hey, this is reliable information. If they can't do that, then honestly, what can you do with a person who don't want to communicate? Why do you want to deal with somebody who don't want to take the time to educate themselves? A lot of guys or a lot of girls it just sounds great. Oh, I accept you. But then they think about it, and then they just don't do certain things. My whole thing is, you need to make sure this person is they need to educate themselves. And you need to ask them, what do you know about it? Something new that you learned about it with. And if you're going to be in a relationship, especially with somebody you're in a relationship with, you need to make sure this person is also considering you and finding new stuff for you, because at the end of the day, we're constantly trying to find things, and you want to be able to talk to your partner about this. You never want to get to a point where, oh yeah, he accept me, but if I bring it up, he look at me crazy, or we bring it up, he kind of shut the conversation down. He bring it up and he was like, oh babe, we ain't got to talk about that, I accept you. My whole thing is, they really don't. Okay, they really don't. No, you have your people who I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to bring it up and things like that. But at the end of the day, they have to understand this is something you're dealing with, and you're in a relationship with them. So I had the ability to vent to you. I had the ability to confide in you. And if I can't confide in you, then what am I with you for? A lot of us are getting into relationships and it's not equal. You're going all the way in, doing your thing, but he's not all the way in with you, or she's not all the way in with you, because they're concerned about this. And like I said, it's nothing wrong with them being scared. It's nothing wrong with them saying that they can't deal. But what is wrong is that they're stringing you along, and they're making you feel like they accept it, but deep down they really don't. That's why I want you guys to call them out on it. That's the way to communicate. Call them out. Say, hey, I don't think you say you there, but you not. But then you also, as yourself, got to ask yourself, is he saying that he accepts it, but I'm just not dealing with my own acceptance? So that's another thing you have to deal with. The second thing, you need to make sure you're at a point of acceptance before you even step into some things, because your insecurities can show, and that person can be telling you, I'm fine with everything. Let's do this. Let's do that. I have dealt with so many clients like that, where they're in a great relationship. The guy treat her absolutely amazing. He wants to do oral sex. He wants to do all of this stuff. And she's like, no, you can't have oral sex on me because I'll pass it to you. No, you can't kiss me because I think I have it in my mouth. Oh, you can't do that because I think I'm shedding. You can get it. And he's like, Then I say I accept you and you are just dragging this on. So my whole thing is you have to be to a point where when a person tell you that they accept it and they're showing you based off their behavior and all of these other things that you're not sabotaging it to a certain extent because you don't accept it. So I always tell you guys, make sure you're at an accepting point before you step into a relationship, because you're not, best believe it's going to show in that relationship and it can damage your relationship. A lot of people have lost amazing relationships because they have not accepted this, and a person cannot deal with you after a long period of time not accepting it because they told you I accept it. So why are you in this whirlwind of not accepting it when I have already accepted you? And I want you guys to understand, you accepting yourself is way more important than somebody else accepting you. As much as you think, oh, I can't wait, and we always say I'm scared that somebody won't accept me. But my whole thing, you're more scared that you're scared to accept yourself. When you accept yourself, you're not really concerned if a person accepts you or not. You know, one day I will find somebody who accepts me. But most of us always put the focus on another person and never want to put the focus on ourselves, because working with ourselves is so much harder than it is focus on another person. Because it's like, well, he didn't accept me, that's why I'm still sad. He didn't accept me, that's why I'm going into depression. He didn't accept me, that's why I don't want to disclose anymore. He didn't accept me, so I'll be single for the rest of my life. You want to slick do a blame game when all you had to do was sit down for a second, work with me, get into a support group, or work with somebody else, go to a therapist, go to a counselor, and work through your fear and learn how to deal with your fear. And then you could have got to a point where you continue on and found that person you was looking for. But you just shut yourself down because you had one or two bad experiences and you didn't want to see your side of the fence. Okay, my whole thing is deal with your grass before you try to add somebody into your yard. Deal with your grass. Make your grass green and pretty before you bring somebody in to help you tame it, okay? Because a lot of us want people to tame, but that's not working because we still are struggling to learn how to cut our own grass, okay? I'm just saying. So with that being said, guys, I really want you guys to pay attention. Okay, pay attention. When you get into these relationships, you got to pay attention, because a lot of us get into the relationships and find out this person really never accepted it. And it's very devastating to be in a relationship and that person don't accept you, and you can feel it in the pit of your stomach. You feel worse being in a relationship than being by yourself. And I do not want any of you guys to experience that, which I'm sure all of you have experienced it, but I don't want you to experience it again, because I know you can say, but Lisa, I've been through that and it caused me not to want to go through it again. And my whole thing is, don't let that stop you. Learn. You learn something new today, pay attention to the warning signs. One thing as women we tend to not do, even men, is not pay attention to the warning signs, not listen to our gut. Listen to your gut. Listen to your intuition. It's always right. It's there to protect you. So my whole thing is, guys, yes, sex is not the most important thing in your relationship, but if you choose to want to have sex in your relationship, then you have the choice to deal with somebody who's like, you know what, we can't do that. If you're not okay with that, then say, look, I enjoy you. I think you're an amazing person, but at the end of the day, I like oral sex and you don't want to give me any, and I'm not going to keep giving you some and you're not giving me none. So I'm going to have to walk. Or you can find somebody like, I'm a kisser. You don't want to kiss. Can't do that. Okay. I'm not with it. Okay. So my whole thing is nothing wrong with saying that. You know your needs. You know what you like. And most importantly, it's about what you like and what you want in your relationship. And if a person want to put a limit on what you desire in your relationship, then why be in a relationship with them? Why? Why torture yourself? My whole thing, a lot of us are very desperate and we accept things that doesn't make any sense at all. And then when I come along and you talk to me on the phone and I question you, you be like, I don't know. And I find out why. It's because you have not accepted yourself and you are just happy that he said he accepted. Him wording that he accepted and his behavior is two different things. So words are great. Oh yeah, you accept me. But pay attention to his actions. That's way more important than anything. And if you pick up on some things that's not right, communicate, call them out, say something about it. If you don't see any change within a month or two, then you have to make a decision. My whole thing is what you do for yourself is way more important than what they do for you. You want a normal relationship, then you require a normal relationship. Do not allow anybody to put no limitations on you. Just because you have herpes doesn't mean that you have to live with limitations. You don't have to accept anything. If it's certain things that you like to do in the bedroom and he don't want to do it, I mean, hey, you don't have to accept it. There's somebody out there for you who wants to do what you're doing. But a lot of us feel like it's not enough people. Yes, it is. You just not getting out here enough, okay? Just to be truthfully honest. I was just talking to another young lady and I said at the end of the day, most of the time we don't even get past talking to some people. And then many women in their lives have not even talked to that many men in their life. Half of us do not entertain people. So my whole thing, you want to be very real, get on out here, meet some people, start giving your number out and sift through more people. I saw men talking to more women than we would talk to men any day. Because we're just selective and we're scary majority of the time. Just being completely honest. You know, we don't want to give people a chance or look past our own fears. So that stop us from even entertaining a lot of people. So with that being said, it's also being taught as women shouldn't date multiple people at once. Lies. Talk to them as people as you want until you figure out which one is worth your time. Dudes do it all the time. Why can't we? So I hope this helps you. I hope this gives you perspective. If you're going through this right now, you kind of just want to tell me your whole story because some people's story is a little complex. So I completely understand. If you want to do that, I would say strongly take advantage of the BOGO deal where you can tell me your story and then we'll talk another time. And you'll get that session for free and that is an hour. Like I said, that information will be below. If you are a woman and you want to be in the support group, it's for all women, all ages, all races, then send me a friend request on my Facebook. That is Belize Spivey. And then send me a private message saying I want to be in the group. And I will add you to the group with no problem, guys. Give me about 24 to 48 hours. I am pretty fast. Faster than that. But I try to get to you guys as fast as possible. And I want to talk to you guys about if you live in Atlanta. If you live in Atlanta, you have the opportunity to come out to a holiday outing. It's going to be on December 16th. And we're going to be in Atlantic Station. We're going to go ice skating, and then we're going to go out to lunch after. So my whole thing, if you're interested in that, you can get all that information in the support group. It is typically for women. I tell women, you know, we try to keep it all nice and with us so we can bond and things like that. So with that being said, if you're a woman, you want to go, hey, you get the chance to be in the support group and learn more about that. If you're not quite ready to be in the support group, but you still want to learn about coming out to the outing here in Atlanta, no problem. All you have to do is send me a message at overcomingthestigma@gmail.com or simply send me a message on Facebook at Belize Spivey. And we can go from there and I can still share you with that information. I know a lot of you guys sometimes are not completely ready or not on social media at all. So I don't want you to feel like you miss out on things just because you're not on social media or you're not in the support group. I'm trying to, start to do outside the support group, but it's just so much easier to do so much in the support group because we're all in one place. So work with me on that, guys. So I'm going to show myself these chats and I'm going to answer y'all questions. 1 second. I'm going to go down. Hold on 1 sec. How do you feel at dating sites that are for this? I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. I don't think there's anything wrong with herpes dating sites or STD dating sites. My whole thing is you have to deal with other people. You know our struggles. You know how insecure we can be. You know how fearful we can be. My whole thing, you got to make sure that person is ready for a relationship. Just because you have the same STD doesn't mean that person have got to a place of acceptance. Just because you have it, I have talked to so many women who is with somebody who have it and they're in a worse mental state than they are. They're in a worse emotional state than they are. They're thinking, oh my God, I can get that in my mouth. My whole thing is, guys, you both have the same thing. Y'all are both educated. Come on. Why are you even freaking out? I'm getting the worst from you and you got it compared to somebody who don't. So my whole thing, you got to be very, very cautious with people who have it because sometimes they are more broken than a person who don't have it. So be careful. That's all I'll say. Ask them what their mental state is and ask them for sure if they have accepted where they are. Or are they just dating somebody with it because they're scared to disclose? Because a lot of people do that because they don't want to disclose. And I feel like don't run away with disclosing. It really helps you build your confidence, okay? I'm struggling to get to know people because I have never dated before or have sex. My first and only boyfriend who I lost my V card and gave me herpes. He started being emotional and sexually abusive. That was after I got herpes from him. My issue now is how I feel like they could rob a lot of my freedom. He was so ignorant after he thought I cheated on him because when he got tested, he was negative. The STD testing in the U.S., from what I have been told, is they only test for herpes when they are having a flare up, because that's when the results come back positive. For example, if I go and get tested when I don't have a flare up, it come back negative. I get tested right now because I have a flare, it's positive. Sorry, I got too much to ask vent. What are your thoughts on H? Okay, I just said that. I'm not with him anymore. I'm not with him anymore. Okay, so my whole thing is, I see that. I see why you haven't been having sex or even dating anymore, because what he did, that was your first everything, and he abused you in so many ways. So my whole thing is the fact that he was abusing you emotionally, mentally, and sexually already got you in a whirlwind not to trust people. On top of that, he gave you an STD. Well, you don't know where you got the STD from, but believing that you got well, clearly you had to get it from him. So with that being said, you are just scared, and you have to get to a point where you forgive yourself, thinking that, I could have did something to prevent this. You couldn't. He made a will to be abusive to you and give you this. And you got to also understand, most people, especially in the UK, is not aware of, they have to ask for this STD testing. And as you know, in the UK, it's a little different. They don't do blood tests at all. They want to do cultures because it's way more accurate. So my whole thing is, it's not that he's going in and saying it's going to be negative when you go in, because it's nothing that's coming up. It's nothing to show. It's no outbreak. So if they offered blood tests, then for sure they would have found out that he had it already. But since you didn't have a blood test, that's not the case. But for you to lose your virginity to him, for a fact he had to give it to you. Who else can give it to? The only other way you could have got it from somebody else's dad. Somebody performed oral sex on you before. If you have genital, if you have oral, then family member kissing you, if you had anybody else like that, then understandable. But if you have genital, then for a fact you get it from him, and it's just not going to show up in the test because they don't do blood tests. And when he went, he did not have any symptoms. So my whole thing is, for you, lovely, you have to get to a point where you forgive yourself for even all of this happening, and realizing you really couldn't do much about it. And you have to start moving forward, because at the end of the day, you're a beautiful girl. You don't have to you don't have to be so scared. I mean, at the end of the day, no, people are not perfect. It's some people out here who are crappy, but at the end of the day, you deserve to be with somebody who's amazing to you and deserves you. And he didn't. And he knew you were young. He knew that, you never had a boyfriend, so he took advantage of you. So my whole thing with you, love, I would love to talk to you individually. I know you're in the UK, so we'll do a video chat. But I think the BOGO will be great for you, so you can kind of tell me more of that story of what's going on with you. And then I can assist you even more individually, kind of telling you some personal things that you can do to move forward. So if that's something you want to take advantage of, I would love to talk to you, okay? Anybody have any more questions? But like I was saying, dating sites are not bad. Right now, guys, dating online is the best thing to do, not just for HSV, but that's where the guys are. That is where the guys are. Okay, great, love. Can't wait to talk to you. We're going to do video chat, okay? So you can see me and I can see you. So it's going to be looking just like this when we're talking to each other. So, yeah. Online is like, online dating is the business right now. It's the business. That's where the guys are looking for ladies now, because people are not going out and walking up to you anymore. It's just not old school anymore. It's different. Thank you too, sweetie. So I just say, y'all gonna have to get out of comfort zone a little bit with getting out here and really being in a element or somewhere, or being where people that you're interested in are, networking, but also importantly, getting out of comfort zone and trying online dating. You'll be very shocked that online dating is the business. My outbreak is done. Great. Thank God. Nobody likes those. I don't like those. Which I don't have many. This year I had about 3. And I'm so happy about that. So, I know my outbreak. So, online dating is how I got herpes. I met my ex there. We dated for a few months before sex and then got it. Now I'm scared to date online. You're allowing one bad situation. Question is, did you get an STD test with him? That's not to make you feel bad. That's to ask if you did your due diligence. A lot of us go out here and we do things, but we ask them, have you been tested? Don't ask nobody shit. You need to see paperwork. You need to go get tested together so y'all know for a fact. Don't be asking nobody nothing. Do your due diligence. That's all I'll say. Do your due diligence. Don't take their words for it. That was just one bad guy. You're gonna, just like I was saying, we allow one bad guy to prevent us from doing anything else. Correct. That's all that is. I did it too, girl. I have done that before. Just trusting. You cannot trust what people say. That may sound crazy, but don't pay attention to what they say. Trust what they do. The best thing to do to know that you love yourself and you're protecting yourself, you ask for tests. And my whole thing, you go with him. Don't ask for his test results and you don't have no test results. Your test results from 3 months ago. No, y'all go together and say, you know what, we're just going to make sure we both are good because we know things can happen, especially if that person was just in a relationship or had a sex partner. It's not recent if they just been with somebody, okay? Make sure the test results are very recent, okay? Anybody have any more questions? Any more questions, guys? Ladies, we got to get out of this fear. When one bad thing happened to us, we act like we can't do anything else. Oh my God, I had a bad experience. I don't want to do anything. You're living in a it's not a world you want to live in. You're keeping yourself from living. You're telling me just because, for example, you got fired from your ideal job that you're not going to go back out and find another ideal job. Treat your dating life like a job. You want a better job. You want more money. You do everything. You go get somebody to do your new resume. That means if you need to go and learn how to do your hair, if you need to learn how to do your makeup, if you need to up your style, you need to work on your personality, you need to do whatever you need to do, you need to heal, you do it. At all costs, the same way you would do it for a job. I got to go back to school. That means spend another $34,000 in loans to get better education, to get that ideal job with that ideal salary. Treat your dating life like a career. And when you look at it like that, look how much we put into our careers. Do the same thing for your dating life. I think you'll see a big difference. You don't quit looking for a new job, especially if you want more money. So, well, guys, with that being said, I completely enjoyed you guys today. We had a great time here. Like I said, if you need to reach out to me, the information will be below to reach out to me. I can't wait to talk to you, some of you guys individually, if that's what you want to do. I'm excited to meet some of you guys here in Atlanta when we have a holiday outing on December 16th. So my whole thing is reach out to me if you need me. If you need the support group, any women you need the support group, you know what to do. The information will be below. I love you guys, and we'll be talking soon. Bye.